What's up, everybody? Glad to be bringing you my first Mondo figures review. And let me tell you, I have had a lot of trepidation on even opening this figure. While it isn't my first Mondo figure, it is definitely one that's kind of had a lot of controversy surrounding it lately. And of course, that is of the Masters of the Universe Timed Edition He-Man. Let's talk about it. So yeah, if you aren't familiar with Mondo, they make premium quality figures in the 1/6 scale, so 12 inches or so. And they've been doing Masters of the Universe for a while now. Like I mentioned, this isn't my first Mondo. I've had a Skeletor. Actually, I think that's the one I've had, is Skeletor previously. But last year, they announced that they were doing a timed edition release of it, I don't know if they were calling it this, but a lot of people were calling it the Ultimate He-Man. And it's a He-Man strictly as you see in this picture real quick. I'll put it back up here so you can see the art. And we'll get to talk about this more in a minute. But basically you're going to get the Battle Armor He-Man, Classic He-Man, and Thunder Punch He-Man with this timed exclusive, which basically meant this figure is only going to have a 24-hour window, and then they don't do it anymore. So I decided, hey, 3 for 1, that's not too bad. I think the price tag was $250 and change. After shipping, it was around $275. So these kept rolling in right around Christmas time of last year. I got mine in, and of course I was waiting for other people to do reviews. I wanted to see what they were thinking of it. And the calamity started, so to speak. A lot of these figures have an issue with their midsection, with the figure coming apart. So much so that Mondo is actually doing various things to correct this. They are issuing new bodies to fix the issue. That actually, I read recently that they are actually running out of replacement bodies, and they're going to have more made and shipped. And I think the latest I heard was April, if you're wanting to have the figure replaced. Otherwise, they are issuing refunds, and I believe they might even be doing some sort of credit. Now, don't hold me to that, but I know they're doing reissues of bodies, or they'll refund you. So if you're interested in this, you're not going to get it from Mondo. The only way you would have got it at this point is to have gotten it during the timed release, or you're buying it on the secondary market. I will caution you this. As I was told, I commented on a video about this, saying that I was actually too worried to open this figure myself, because I was afraid it'd break. And that I was just thinking about reselling it. And someone pointed out, and I agree with them in some respects. They said, well, if you resell it and you have a defective one, then there's no way for that person to get theirs replaced, because they weren't the original purchaser. It was you. And that makes sense. And ultimately, that is the decision that led me to open this up, do the review with you guys, and we're going to see. We're going to see if I have a good one or not. Just from my little personal tally of friends and YouTubers and other folks that have been getting this, that I've read or watched reviews on, it seems like a toss-up, almost like a 50-50. My local hobby store, they got 2 of them in. They have one for display, one the owner's son has, and both were fine. No issues. They've got one for sale. It's out of the box, and it's in a fighting pose, and the torso is fine. Or the midsection, rather, is fine. And yet, I had a friend who got one the same time I did, and his in 2. So, you're going to take this journey with me, and we're going to see what we have in this. But enough of me talking about it. Let's get to it. So, one of the difficulties of doing a figure this large is that I've actually had to flip my camera to try to get it all in. Even with that, I'm almost at the edge of my table to fit this in the frame. But as you can see, Mondo has, to start off with, the Mondo exclusive sticker. It's an embossed sticker, very nice, but not as nice as this artwork on this package. Again, a time release. That was a Ultimate He-Man featuring Thunder Punch He-Man, our Classic He-Man, and Battle Armor He-Man. Beautiful artwork showing off the no guard from the Horde playset back in the day, Gray Skull, and King Hiss, and Cobra Khan. Of course, it is a... I don't know, I thought it was a slipcase, but maybe it's not. Oh, it's not. But before we get that, it's a magnetized case. But of course, we've got the 1/6 scale collectible figure. And of course, we have a blurb on the back. By the power of Grayskull, Eternia was in need of a champion, someone who could protect it against the villainous Skeletor. That person would be known as the hero He-Man, son of King Randor and Queen Marlena. Prince Adam was bestowed the powers of He-Man by the sorceress of Castle Grayskull. Using the mighty power sword, Prince Adam transforms into the powerful warrior known as He-Man, gaining enhanced strength and abilities. He-Man battles against the menacing Skeletor in the name of good and all of Eternia, never resting until peace is restored to all the land and Skeletor's evil is no more. And of course, at the bottom, you have the blurb that says, collector's model, not suitable for children under 14 years, made in China. You have the packaging illustrations by Florian Bertmer, package design by Gabe Chickadine, and this is mondoshop.com. And like I said, it has a flip top open right here at the top, but I believe it is a magnetized box that opens up. So, like I said, I haven't opened this, so yep, you are opening it with me for the first time. Got some paper here that we're just gently going to pull off, and there is He-Man. So, very cool. You can see it's got 3 portraits, many accessories, 2 power swords, and various pieces of equipment that we will soon get into, but I do want to point out this really cool... Mondo actually had commissioned, it looks like, a Castle Grayskull made, and they put the 12-inch He-Man figure inside of it and lit up the back. I mean, it looks very, very cool. But I'm sure, like the rest of you, we are more interested in tearing into this and seeing what we've got. So give me just a few minutes to get it unpacked and we'll start reviewing it. Okay, you are viewing with me live. I just got it out of the plastic. Still has the plastic film around him. I separated out a little bit of the accessories. And I'll come back to it in a minute, but it seems like I might be missing an accessory, but I don't know which one I'm missing. So, but I wanted to get this captured on video a little bit of the initial, I mean, literally just took him out of the plastic, sat him up here, turned the camera back on. So, here we go. Let's get this off of him. Okay, that's underneath the armor. Okay, maybe we'd be better served taking the armor off, and it looks like it's just attached. I am very nervous about this. Okay, so that comes off, and assumedly this comes off, so that's cool. So let's see if we can't get the armor off of him in a gentle manner. I've also heard that this armor rubs, like the paint off of it will rub onto the figure. So now I'm even concerned about... I shouldn't be this concerned about a $250 figure, right? Man, I am. And first of all, I've noticed one detail. Whatever's happened to the belt right there. Sorry, I'm just pulling the plastic out of the way so we can go ahead and resync up the armor. And I tell you, I don't know if I'm just being overly cautious. Like I said, I had Skeletor at one point, and I don't feel like I was this cautious with him. It felt like, it felt like just a 12-inch action figure. It felt like substantial, but not like I was going to break it. And here I just feel like I'm going to break this if I look at it. Now maybe that's just me being overly cautious. And again, even just right now trying to snap these back in place, I know I'm rubbing that back of that chest armor onto the chest, and I'm just worried that it's gonna... Oh my goodness gracious, why am I having such a hard time here? Alright, sorry folks, gotta go get it closer to me, figure out what the heck I'm doing wrong, which is nothing. I am just not pressing it hard enough into the... Oh my gosh, seriously. All right, here, I might as well do it back in front of you because I'm not succeeding. That is just not going back in there. Oh, maybe. Okay, there. So, here we go. Let me put him back a little bit so you can see him in his entirety. There's He-Man. Let me stand this up a little more so you can see him better. Sorry, first time doing a 12-inch figure, so I don't really have the height thing down. So, cool things about it. Articulation out the wazoo, even though the knees are weirdly turned inward. He's got bicep swivel, elbow bends. Not, maybe it's double jointed. So we got that. We got this cool gauntlet. Everything's pinless, at least from what I can tell. This arm turns. Turn at the bicep. Very tight. Nothing loose yet. Head is a little loose. That I'm just barely moving that with my finger. It's not terrible. And like I said, the knees. Oh man, that is not a pleasant sound, just to be honest. There we go, straighten that up. Fur on the boots, or boots with the fur. Fur loincloth. Through the back, you've seen this previously. Oh, the kicker is the articulation at the waist. Dare I try turning it, or do I just... I guess it also has an upper ab crunch. Okay, it's turning, but barely. I'm not turning it anymore. That's just what I've decided. So, I do not trust that to stay. It feels very tight. Once this is just gentle turning, and it meets some resistance, and I am not turning that anymore. From what I understand, there's a peg in here on the waist that holds the upper torso, and that glue is not... It's either defective or something's wrong with it, and if you turn it too much, the glue is just going to separate from the torso, and it's going to... I'm going to have a real battle damaged He-Man. So, there's the figure, and it's beautiful. No doubt about it. It's an absolutely gorgeous figure. And I don't know. I shouldn't be worried about continuing to touch it, but I am. But we're going to power through this review. And I'm going to show you the accessories as they have come in the box first. So, there were two separate pieces of plastic. And I'm going to try just to put He-Man off to the side temporarily and show you kind of... Oh, this might not work. So, you know what? I was going to show you what they look like in the package, but I think instead I'm just going to take them out. So, He-Man has alternate hands, 3 alternate hands, which is a very strange number to have. You'd think he'd have 4. He has a right pointing finger. He has a right gripping hand and a left gripping hand. So 2 gripping hands, the 2 fisted hands you see on the body, and a pointing finger. So I don't know, maybe he wants to be Hulk Hogan and go, "You, Skeletor." And then, of course, we come with the alternate heads, portraits for He-Man, and I'm going to take them out of the plastic right now. And of course we have grimacing, or I would call this battle ready face He-Man, and it's very cool. I like it a lot. And it's just on a peg. You just pop the old head off, put this one on. And then as an extra bonus, which I don't think anyone's going to use, but it's cool. And give me just a moment to take it out of the plastic. You do get a classic Kenner, or Mattel, sorry, He-Man style head. Just a blown up version of what we remember from our childhood. And of course, if I hold it back there, you can clearly see there is a size difference as well. It's a more squattier face. So that's as far as body parts that are interchangeable. We get a combat knife, boot knife, I believe, and it comes with just a simple elastic that you can put around the boot. He comes with his iconic power sword, which I am attempting to get out right now. So, like I said, he comes with the iconic power sword. Very cool. He also comes with a second power sword, which is in this translucent yellow to represent the Thunder Punch He-Man sword from the 80s. Very cool. I like this a lot. It always reminds me of like when the power sword's charging up, when he calls down the power. And then we'll cover this more in a moment, but briefly to show you, in this part of the packaging, he comes with two versions of the H for the battle armor. One's damaged, one is undamaged. And they have little tiny magnets on them. So, when I show you the battle armor, you'll see that these just simply snap on. So yeah, so I'm setting these off to the side for now. I'm going to lay that right there, and I'm going to get out the other piece of plastic that contains all the other accessories. So, I am quickly running out of room. So you'll see them off to the side. But of course, we were talking about it, so we might as well bring it out. Here is the battle armor. And it is also magnetized. You can see the little magnets in here. It's very cool. And just, wow, just clips right together. And there's the magnet that holds, that holds the H in place. So, we have that. We have a very cool battle axe. It's very lightweight. I figured it'd be a little heavier, but this is a very, you can hear it from how it's very hollow, but still very cool. Put that back. We have his shield, if I can get it out of here with my clumsy hands. You know what? Probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to use the power sword to wedge it out. Probably a dumb idea. Someone watching this is going to be like, why would you do that? Because I could. So, again, kind of hollow, but a little thicker. It's like two separate pieces of hollow plastic, it almost feels like. So, it's got this really cool design on the back. Slide his arm through there, grip onto this. It's a very, very cool shield. And moving on to what I would consider more of the Thunder Punch accessories. We have the Thunder Punch shield with this super cool design, the He-Man logo, and the inner workings and the back of it. Same thing, leather strap. Not real leather, but you get the idea. Very cool. And then a very cool nod back to the toy. If you remember the caps, they've designed a little cap-looking contraption, so to speak, to look like the snap caps from the old guns. And I believe it can actually fit in here. And there you go. Fits right in there. So that's a cool little thing to add in. Very cool. We have the Thunder Punch accessory, which is actually a peg. So you can pull out He-Man's hand and put this on it and be doing the actual Thunder Punch. Otherwise, it's just kind of some rubbery plastic. And finally, you get the Thunder Punch He-Man armor, which is very cool looking. Even has the what used to be the where you'd turn to snap the caps. And it plugs in just like that. Excellent. And then you get two gauntlet accessories to turn your He-Man into a full-fledged Thunder Punch He-Man. So, very cool. Very cool. Now, there was one more space on the on this plastic container right here that you can't see. I'll turn it over here so you can see it for a minute. Kinda. I've just thrown everything back in there. There was this space right here, and I have no earthly idea what's supposed to be in there. It was just a small indentation, so I didn't know. And to let you know, if you didn't see it earlier, He-Man was sitting in the box like this, but he was in another plastic shell, which is now underneath all this. So I don't know if it was just to kind of give room for this or what, but I don't see anything in it. And at the same time, I can't think of anything that's missing. So I don't know. If somebody's watching this and you have this figure, am I missing something? Because I don't know. That's the end all be all of it. So I think what we'll do is we will accessorize He-Man here, see what we can come up with, and then we'll come right back. I'm going to get some of the stuff out of the way, and then we're going to talk about it a little more. Okay, I'm back, and I've got him in his classic He-Man look right now. And wow, I am disappointed. I'm disappointed for the price point I've paid thus far and what I'm seeing. Like I mentioned, the joints are very stiff, which makes me not want to bend this figure. So I was very gentle, even though there are no joints in the fingers. Well, first things first, I had to take off the fisted hands and put on the grippy hands so that I could give him the power sword and I could give him his shield. However, once I went to put the power sword in his hand, I was very careful with the palm, opening it very gently to put the power sword in, trying not to do like a wedge thing like I generally do with figures. And it's already rubbing, it rubbed the paint off of He-Man's inner hand onto the power sword. And that's on both sides. So, I mean, you can hide it if you turn it like that. But that's truly disappointing. You know, this is a $250 figure. I should not have paint rubbing just trying to put an accessory in its hands. How that passed quality control, I have no idea. I mean, who would have thought? Like, it just bums me out. So, that being said, I didn't even bother to try on this hand. I just left it. I'm not going to try putting this grippy hand through there. It's not going to happen. And I'm very upset with that because I can hide it. It stays on his arm fairly well like this. But it's not very supported. So other things I've noticed, some of the fur, the fake fur is already falling out. I went to go put on this boot knife, and some of the fuzz immediately started coming out. It's kind of down here on the table, so I'm disappointed in that. That's minor. That's not a big deal. The big thing I'm seeing right now is just the fact that I've already got paint wear, and I was already worried about it with the upper armor. But then to have it happen to the power sword, I'm not going to put the other power sword in his hand. I'm not going to ruin that, which is a shame because I was thinking about showing this off in his Thunder Punch state. But I'm going to remove all this. I'm going to put the battle armor on, and then we'll come back and look at the battle armor. So here we have battle armor He-Man. As you can see, I have also replaced the head with the more scowling He-Man. I'll pull him in there just again so you can see it. And it's very cool. I am enjoying this a lot. And if I zoom in and show you the battle armor, you can see it's got some cool effects on it, some scraping, which is very cool. And then to pull it back out, I can show you that it's, like I said, it's just a metal piece that comes right off, or a magnetized metal piece. Sorry, it's plastic with a metal magnetized piece. And then you just pop on the other one to show the battle damage, and it stays on great. I liked it because when it just clamped right on. It's very form-fitting. It's not loose at all. It is on there very, very tight. And it looks very good. So, while I have him out, I have the battle axe, and I wanted to show you kind of what I did with the power sword, and we're going to do it with the battle axe because to hell with it, it's mine. If I mess it up, it's mine, whatever, I've done it. So, to review, here's the hand that I use for the power sword. If you look inside of it, I might not be able to get a good view of it. I'll try to get him a little closer. I mean, it's pretty flexible, right? So what I'm going to try to do is get it in there. And also the axe is a little thinner than the power sword, so I think it's going to go in a little easier. Oh my gosh. So try to pull it back as much as possible, and of course it goes right back into place. Oh, there it was. Did you hear that? I just cracked something. Not sure what. Oh, maybe I didn't crack anything. I didn't. The joint popped. Oh, thank goodness. I thought I broke it. So, that's good. Okay, so now that I just about shat myself, let's just get that in there and be done with it. There we go. Battle axe in hand. Battle armor He-Man. Ready to go. I do like this. I do like this battle armor He-Man. I like this portrait a lot. This head is also not nearly as loose. This one's actually tight. So I don't know. Maybe the other head just was not pushed down all the way. Another exciting, geez, listen to me. Another surprising thing is how small the peg is for the head. Don't know if it's going to come through here very well, but the peg for this it's a very short peg, and it's probably only about that long. It's not very long, but surprisingly it works. But this looks very good. I mean, just to shore up, I mean, I left the knife on. I like this configuration a lot. This looks pretty. This He-Man is going to mess stuff up. Of course, you can take that off again. We can put on the non-battle damage version, and I like this one. I like this one a lot. I like that portrait a lot. So let me re-accessorize him, and we will return with Thunder Punch He-Man. And here you go. You have Disco He-Man. I did this just as a joke. I will return here in a moment, put the other face back on him and the Thunder Punch, and have him more accessorized up. But I did want to show you how damn goofy this head looks. On one hand, it looks really goofy. On the other hand, it, for some reason, looks very cool at the same time. And I had the pointy hand. Figured I'd do something silly. So there you go. If you're curious, there's what the head looks like with the classic portrait and the pointing hand. But I will come back in just a moment with the actual build out that I'll use for Thunder Punch He-Man. Stay tuned. Okay, here we have the proper Thunder Punch He-Man. Fully accessorized with the red gauntlets. Same head with the action pose, but we have the Hero's Shield with the snap caps inside and the Thunder Punch action. Now, the one thing I didn't do was accessorize him with the gold power sword, but if I remember correctly, it went in somehow like this, I believe. Now, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't remember if that's exactly how it looked, but that's the only thing I can remember. So you could put it in theoretically like that, or you could just leave the snaps, which don't really set in there very well. I don't know if if I have them in there wrong. There seems to be some slots on the shields. Matter of fact, we can take off the shield. Well, maybe we just need to, maybe I have it in the wrong way. I don't know. Because see, it stays up like that. But yeah, this is a very cool figure. And if we turn him so you can look at more at the actual straight on. Yeah, that just kind of sits in there and floats. I don't know if I have it not put in there correctly or what. You'll notice, again, I did not even attempt to put his hand on the mount to hold the shield. I just slid it through and left it. But, I mean, if you have it facing a certain way, you're not going to have to worry about that much. But I really am enjoying this look of the figure. I don't know which one I'll do. it's a toss-up between Battle Armor and Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch was my favorite growing up. That was my He-Man that I played with the most, or that I have the most memories of playing with. And I mean, that's for a couple of reasons, right? Probably because it had the cool accessory. It was the last He-Man made. I was a little bit older. That's probably the reason I remember it so well. But that being said, this is all the accessories for Thunder Punch He-Man. I've taken you through Classic He-Man, I've taken you through Battle Armor He-Man, I've taken you through the special Disco Edition He-Man, and the Thunder Punch He-Man. So, if you've made it through the video so far, give me a like. Tell me what you like about this. Tell me what you don't like about it. Did you pick this up? Were you thinking about picking it up? My overall view of this is, if I could go back and tell myself not to get it, I probably would. Again, you saw the paint scuffing. You saw my reaction when I thought I snapped the hand. The constant being worried about the midsection joint, which I'm still worried about. This is supposed to be a premium figure. I paid a premium price for it, and I feel like it's very delicate. I don't remember my Skeletor Mondo feeling this delicate. And for some reason, this figure does. Now, maybe I'm biased because I saw the reviews of people's breaking and all this stuff. But as excited as I was for this, now that I have it, I'm nervous that I'm going to break it. Even after I stop this video and I try to decide how I'm going to pose him, I'm afraid to set him up on my shelf because if something happens and he falls over, I don't know what I'm going to do. Speaking of that, though, I did not show this. Mondo figures do come with a stand. And you just simply push this metal down, and you can, essentially, they can ride on top of it. And there you go. It's supposed to keep them from falling over. So I will be able to use that. That will mitigate some of my fears. But still, I shouldn't be worried about a figure that costs this much falling off a shelf, or, something happening and it just breaking with the greatest of ease, or having paint rub off. Maybe I'm being picky, but I know. At the same time, this is a $250 figure. I don't expect paint rubs, especially if I have accessories that are meant to go in hands. But that being said, it's a very cool figure. Drop me a comment. Make sure you hit subscribe. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this evening, going over this. I plan on having more reviews, more Masters of the Universe reviews, more G.I. Joe reviews. Like, subscribe, and have a good day. See ya.